Hello everybody, welcome back to another series of my video on new launch analysis. Today I'll be walking through Pinery Residences. So this is another new launch in Tampines. The last new launch I remember was Parktown Residences, and they sold very well. So today we are going to look at a few things on Pinery and whether this project, is it something that is worthwhile to look at it. So some disclaimer here. So all the information that I'll be presenting in this presentation is just solely for your reference. So today I'll be walking through a few things. The first part I'll be walking through the project information. So just some brief information about Pinery Residences, like how many units and all that. And the second thing I think is quite interesting is that we'll be looking at what is the sweet spot to enter, right? So we'll be trying to understand what are the different type of developer pricing strategy, and then I will give you my personal opinion on what I think how the developer will actually price it and what strategy will they, are they going to adopt. And then lastly, we'll be looking at the layout analysis versus Rivelle Residences, because as you know, Rivelle is a new EC that is launching around the same time as Pinery, and they are very close by. So I'm going to compare like some of the best layout in Rivelle to see whether can it actually stand out, or in the market in the future, or actually Pinery will actually stand out better. So this is my QR code. If let's say you would like to get in touch with me at this point of time, do take your phone and scan this QR code. So I'm going to go to the location map. So in case you don't know where Pinery is, Pinery Residences is a mixed development where they have shopping mall on the first level, and it is just a short walk across the road to Tampines West MRT station. So you can see that, in terms of the surrounding around Pinery, it is mainly surrounded by the HDB blocks, the newer BTOs, right here and right here, right? So surrounding, they are all surrounded by BTOs. So if you ask me, Pinery wise, does it have very good view? I feel that the four sides are mostly blocked. So I think Pinery wise, maybe the internal facing, might be better, but we will take a look later. Then some project information. Pinery total units 588 units, and for the car park lots, is 474, so it's not 1-to-1. So you may be wondering, 588 units but I only have 474 lots, is it enough? Trust me, it will be enough one, because they have 2-bedder, 3-bedder, 4-bedder and 5-bedder, right? Especially for the 2-bedder, there will definitely be people renting out. So for people who are renting out, usually they will not occupy a lot So developer nowadays, I realize that for the new launches, they don't really give 1-to-1, okay, but they have calculated, they have did their math, it will be sufficient. And also to touch on is that the developer is Hoi Hub. So we know that actually Hoi Hub, they have built very quality project in the past, like Continuum, Key Residences, all these, right? So in terms of quality wise, I think Hoi Hub, stand a very good reputation in the market. So this will continue to be a very exciting project. Then for the unit mix, like what I said, they are smallest bedroom. They don't have a 1-bedroom. Unlike Parktown, they have a 1-bedroom and 1+ study. For Pinery, the smallest is starting from a 2-bedder all the way to a 5-bedder. So you can see that for 2-bedder, right, they are total unit mix stands about 43% of the development, and 3-bedder is 35%. So what I can see here is majority, we have about 79%, close to 80% are 2-bedder and 3-bedder. So majority are 2 and 3. Then 4-bedder, they have about 20%, and of course 5-bedder, they only have 2%, right? From what I see is that the unit mix is quite healthy, and for the 2-bedder, interestingly is that for the developer, they do not have 2-bed 1 bath. For all the 2-bedder are 2-bed 2 bath. So I think this is what the developer are seeing the demand in the market, that for a 2-bedder, 2-bed 2 bath will actually get a better interest in the market. Next, we move on to the site plan. So the main entrance, so you can actually see that the main entrance is actually along Tampines Street 94. So total, is quite a big development. Total, I have 6 blocks. Highest story is 14 story. So the highest is 14th floor. We don't have something that's super high because due to the height restriction in Tampines. All the units are orientated to north-south mostly, except stack 29 and stack 20. So that's why you don't see 100%. You only see 95.9%. So based on what I see is that, Hoi Hub, in terms of their landscaping, I think we don't need to be very worried. They build very nice landscaping as well, just like CDL and UOL. So next thing, we are going to look at the first floor. So the first floor, the commercial layout, what I feel is that, usually when we want to buy a mixed development, right? I think a lot of people, they are looking at mixed development because they want the convenience to, I take the lift, I come down to level 1, I have access to supermarket, I have access to all the food court and all that, and also I have direct access to the MRT station. So when we look at, okay, the USP is something that is very important. So if you think about it, right, every condo will have USP. So for Pinery, for a mixed development like this, usually what is the USP? In my personal opinion, I think the USP for Pinery is that, we have so many blocks, we have six 6 blocks ma. So ultimately, next time in the resale market, how do we actually stand out from the rest of the block? I feel that nowadays a lot of buyers, they are looking at the shortest access to the MRT station. If you would ask me, my number one choice for block, I will prioritize at maybe block 932. This will be my number one because if you can see, this is the lift lobby. So you can imagine you take the lift down to the lift lobby at level 1. It's a short walk, then you can go to MRT already. So it's a very, very short. Compared to my last block at 924, which is here, I take the lift down, I just need to walk to the MRT station. So there is still a distance to the MRT station, right? So I feel that, for the USP, for the block, which block to choose, if you will ask me, I think my number one choice will still be the shortest access to the MRT station. So if you will ask me, block 932 and block 930, these two blocks are the closest. So it is important to think about it on what is the USP for a mixed D. So to me, I will usually choose a block that is the shortest distance to the MRT station. But of course, ultimately, we still need to look at the price, how the developer actually priced it, so that we can actually gain a safer entry price. So this is something that I feel that is important. And then the next thing is that the elevation chart, you can see that from what I'm seeing is that the developer, they place a lot of those very premium units like 3-bedroom premium, 4-bedder and 5-bedder in the internal facing. So they have very nice pool view, right? Then the rest like 2-bedder, 2+ study, they do have pool view as well. But some of them, they are having the outward facing, the external facing, right? Which is facing the opposite HDB block. So this is what I see how the developer actually planned it. So the next thing we are going to look at, understanding the developer pricing strategy. Why is it important to understand this? Because we know that every developer, on the launch day, they will try to launch something that is very attractive in terms of pricing, but there is always an average price to hit. So let's say, for example, right, if we use Parktown example, if let's say the average per square foot the developer need to hit is 2,600 per square foot, but on the launch day, the developer cannot be launching at 2006. So maybe they were launching at 23. I'm not saying this is the pricing that they will launch, right? This is just an analogy on how the developer they will price, right? So the developer may start from 23, and then there will be some units that is selling at maybe about 28 or 29. So with this, they will achieve an average of 26. So every new launch, they will always have an average price that the developer need to hit. So definitely you will see some that are pricing at 23, 24 maybe. I'm hoping that the developer sell cheaper in price, but let's see. So if you see that in terms of the pricing strategy, usually I would say that there is 3 types that the developer, how they would price. So different developer, they'll adopt very different strategy. So usually, right, if you talk about the first one, it's a price per floor jump. So for Pinery, it's a 14-story building. Usually how the developer will price. Usually, if let's say the price per floor jump, it will definitely be level 1 to maybe level 14 in a development. If let's say developer, if they use price per floor jump strategy, means that the first floor, example, if they price at 2.3, the highest floor maybe they price at 2.7, which means that the first floor to the top floor, I'm looking at 400 per square foot. So you can see that the gap is pretty big from the first floor to the top floor. So with this, definitely there will be buyers who will be buying one of the top floor one, but they will be getting in at a higher per square foot. So in this way, the developer actually load the premium onto the higher floor. So why is it important to understand this is that, if we can know what is the pricing strategy from the developer, then we will know actually how do we actually gain a sweet spot when we want to buy a unit in the development, right? So let's say, example, if let's say developer price it that way, I'm not saying that they will price this way. If let's say some developer, they actually price lowest floor 2.3, highest floor 2.7, in this case, where is the sweet spot? The sweet spot is, I would say, is maybe you may want to consider level like middle floor, level 5, level 6, or maybe the lower floor. Because in this case, the higher it go up, the higher premium that a buyer need to pay. So this is concept number 1, developer using price per floor jump strategy. If you look at strategy number 2, view jump. What is view jump? So usually in a development, let's say in Pinery, okay, you have opposite, you are facing HDB, it is HDB, you have a few blocks now, you have 6 blocks in total, then in between you have pool. So let's say some of the units that is facing the pool view, you're having a pool view facing and versus some is facing the HDB block facing. Some developers, they might place some of the premium in the better facing. So let's say example, if let's say those units that is facing the HDB, developer maybe might place about 2.4 per square foot, but those that is facing the pool, maybe about 2.6 per square foot. So in this case, you can see that, by buying the better view, you got to pay 200 per square foot more. So in this case, the developer is actually placing premium onto the better facing, which is the pool view. Example. So in this case, if you ask me where is the sweet spot, I would say that, if let's say, if you still want to get something of pool view, try to get something at the pool view but at the lower floor, maybe level 2, level 3. Because in this case, the developer already placed the premium onto the better facing, but as it goes up, maybe the loading won't be so high. So this is the second strategy that the developer plays on if they adopt a view jump strategy. Okay, the last one is unit type. So what is unit type? Jump strategy. So let's say in development, we always have 2 beta, 3 beta, we have 4 beta, we have 5 beta, right? So let's say a 2 beta. 2 beta, in the past, we are saying that smaller unit will have higher per square foot. Bigger units, due to the size, they will have lower per square foot. Okay, that is what is happening, how the developer actually plays their, they actually do their pricing strategy in the past. But nowadays, what I'm seeing is that for some development, okay, let me include the 1 beta also. So let's say a 1 beta and 2 beta, smaller units. Usually what I see is that some of the developer, they are placing like maybe 2.3 per square foot. Then the 3 beta, they are doing 2.4. The 4 beta, they are doing 2.7. Same thing for the 5 beta, 2.7. So you can see that actually the premium is placed on the larger unit, 4 beta and 5 beta. And the smaller unit, 1 beta and 2 beta, is only 2.3. So in this case, if let's say developer actually adopt this unit type jump strategy, where is the sweet spot? The sweet spot, of course, depends on your budget. So the sweet spot lies in the 3 beta, because the 3 beta is still about 2.4 example. So in this case, the sweet spot lies in the 3 beta, but of course, if you have the budget to go to 4 beta, still go to a 4 beta. So the key thing is that, we need to understand which strategy they actually adopt, and then we will know where is the sweet spot on the actual day when we want to book. It is important so that we can have a very safe entry price, so that we avoid buying those units that developer have actually placed a premium on. Let's look at the first one to understand per floor jump strategy. So if I use Park Town example, right, the developer is CDL. So if you see Park Town, if I use a 3 beta, 861 square feet, their lowest per square foot on launch day, level 2, is 2232 per square foot. And I go all the way up to level 13, is 2386. So level 2 to level 13, the percentage difference in price is about 6.9%, which is about 0.58% per floor jump. So the typical per floor jump per level is about 0.5. For Park Town, in this case, is very clear. You can see that actually the developer, they did not really place a very big premium for the top floor and for the lowest floor. So in this case example, right, where is the sweet spot? The sweet spot, I would say that try to buy as high as possible, because the per floor jump is actually pretty low. Then if you look at Continuum, Continuum is by Hoi Hub. If you look at their 2 beta, 721 square feet, Continuum, their level 2 is 2583 per square foot, transacted on launch day. Highest per square foot, level 16, is 2883. So you can see that from level 2 to level 16 is 11.6%, which is 0.77% per floor jump. So you can actually see that actually for Continuum, the per floor jump is actually higher than Park Town. Where is the sweet spot example, right? So if you see Continuum, I feel that Hoi Hub might adopt a per floor jump strategy based on what I'm seeing in Continuum. But of course, all this depends on the launch day. So in this case, if let's say developer adopt a per floor jump strategy, then where is the sweet spot? The sweet spot, I would say that in this case, you can see for level 2 is 2583 per square foot. Highest floor 28. So the PSF difference is about almost 300 per square foot difference. So in this case, I would say that the sweet spot lies where? Lies in maybe the middle floor. Level 5, level 6. Don't buy too high. So it is important in this case, if let's say if we identify that the developer actually plays a per floor jump strategy, then we might want to buy something that is mid floor and not too high. The next strategy is view jump strategy. I use Continuum also. So if you see Continuum, you can see that if I use the example of 2 beta, a 2 beta at level 12, the per square foot is 2758 per square foot facing the guardhouse facing, versus another 2 beta at the same floor at 2833 per square foot, same floor, facing the pool view. So this is having a pool view. So you can see that, to buy a pool view, only 2.7% more, which is not a lot, I would say. So in this case, I would say that, the developer didn't really place a lot of premium onto the better facing. So in this case, where's the sweet spot? The sweet spot is actually buying the pool view facing. Similarly, if you look at the 3 beta, 3 beta facing pool, level 11 is 2885 per square foot. Another unit here facing Paradise Palm, 3 beta, same floor, 2755 per square foot. So you can see that, to buy a better facing is only 4.7% more in terms of pricing. So which is also not a lot. Then what is considered a lot? Usually I am seeing that, typically if let's say a developer plays at least a 10% or more premium onto the better facing, then that is really a lot. Because why? Let's say we talk about maybe 1000 square foot, let's say a 2.5 million. To place a 10% more in terms of premium, the better facing one is about 200,000 more, which is about 2.7 million, which is quite a lot in terms of premium loading. So in this case, if let's say the developer, so I am seeing that, for Continuum, the developer didn't really adopt a view jump strategy also. I am hoping that for Pinery, they don't really adopt a view jump strategy lah, but we will see, right? The next type is unit type strategy. So unit type, if you look at Continuum, also by Hoi Hub, 2 bed 2 bath, highest per square foot for level 16 is 2883 per square foot. Their 3 bedder compact, level 13 is 2819 per square foot. All the way up to the 3 bedder premium is 29, 4 bedder is 28. So you can actually see that in this case, can we see where the developer load the premium on? Can you see? It's actually on the 3 bedroom premium. So if we know that the developer load the premium onto the 3 bedroom premium, then where is the sweet spot in this case? Is that maybe you want to consider a 3 bedder compact but maybe at a higher floor. If you really need a 3 bedder premium, and if you have the budget, try to go to a 4 bedder in this case. So the sweet spot also lies in the 4 bedder because the per square foot is lower. So knowing the sweet spot, it is important. For Parktown residences, I am seeing that the 1 bedder is 24. Their 2 bed 1 bath is 25, 25, 23. 3 bedder premium is 25, and even their 4 bedder is 23, and 5 bedder is 24. So in this case, I am seeing that for Parktown residences, the developer didn't really adopt the unit type strategy because the PSF difference is very low. And let me illustrate what I mean by really a unit type difference that can be very big. So if you look at Zion Grand, they are 1 bedder. 1 bedder is $3,000 per square foot, 3053. Okay, all the way to 5 bedder. So if you see their 5 bedder is 39 and their 4 bedder is 34. So what can you see here? You are seeing that actually the 1 bedder and 2 bedder, the PSF is quite low, 3,000 and 3,200. So in this case, where did the developer load the premium on? Obviously, it's on the 4 bedder and the 5 bedder. But the rest of the 2 bedder, 3 bedder, the developer didn't really place a lot of premium onto it. So in this case, where is the sweet spot? Example for Zion Grand, the 3 bedder one. Because the 3 bedder, you see it at 3433 is the same per square foot as the 2 bedder. So the sweet spot in this case, if you have the budget, 2 bedder and 3 bedder example, right? So the sweet spot lies on the 3 bedder. So if you ask me, personally, I feel that Pinery developer for Hoi Hub, I feel that on launch day, they might adopt a per floor jump strategy. What I'm seeing for the Continuum is that for the view type, I don't think they will adopt. For the unit type, I also doubt that they will adopt from their pricing strategy in Continuum. So, but let's see. Of course, the same developer might adopt different strategy for different development as well. So we really need to be very, very clear on how should we actually maneuver around on the launch day. So the next one, we are going to look at, for example, right, because there are quite a number of mixed development in Singapore. There are some mixed development do very well. There are some mixed development didn't do as good. So what is the reason? So if you look at Pinery Residences, Pinery Residences in the future, who are the competitor? The competitor obviously is Parktown Residence. So these two, the TOP date will be likely just 1 year apart. And if you look at, around the island, there are also a few mixed development like Woodleigh Residences, we have Sengkang Grand as well. So let's look at it, is that for Woodleigh Residences, right? So for Woodleigh Residences, the TOP in 2023, they are 3 bedder, you can see. For Woodleigh Residences, they make about 372 to $500,000 profit. So whether decent or not, by holding just 3 years, I would say it's very decent for this kind of profit, 300 plus to $500,000 profit. But if you look at for Sengkang Grand, also TOP in the same year, but can you see that the profit, right, is 158 to 265, also holding about 3 years. Why? So the key question is what? Why Sengkang Grand, their profit is half of what Woodleigh actually make? The key reason is that if you look at a mixed development, competition in the surrounding and the area is important. So if you look at Woodleigh Residence, surrounding Woodleigh Residence are mostly HDB flat. Opposite Woodleigh Residence is Park Colonial. They only have one competitor. And along the line, you have another development called Poise. But if you were to compare Poise and Woodleigh Residence, which one actually look nicer? You will know lah. Okay, I don't want to say it out. So in this case, the competition around Woodleigh Residence is not very high. When there's no competition, buyer they will need to pay. So for buyer, if let's say they don't have other options, then that is where, buyer, if they have a budget, they also go for it. If you look at Sengkang Grand Residence, surrounding Sengkang Grand, you have Quartz, although it's older, but it's a very nice development as well, very well maintained. You have Esparina, you have Jewel. So surrounding Sengkang Grand, you have all this development where their per square foot is lower, and also in terms of their proximity to MRT station is also very near. So you'll see surrounding Sengkang Grand Residences, buyers, they have a lot more competition already. They have a lot more options. So in this case, buyer necessary. So if you look at in this case, buyer in this case, if they don't really need to stay in a mixed development, they can also choose the nearby condo like Quartz just across the road to the MRT station, and also Jewel. And also something that is important is that along the line, there is also quite a few mixed D, right? So if you look at Sengkang, they have Compass Point, and also in Punggol they have Water Town. So along the line, buyer will also have choice. If buyer today they don't really need to stay at Buangkok area, they can actually choose Water Town in Punggol. So buyers have options. So once you have options, then it becomes a lot more competition and a lot more competitive. So in this case, I would say that for Pinery wise, the mixed D is really, the competitor is really Park Town. And along the line, I would say they also have Sinica at Tanah Merah, and also Bedok Residences at Bedok. So along the line, they also have a few competition. So that's why we will see what is the demand. But the key thing is that, surrounding, I would say the Tampines area has always been a very favorite hotspot for upgraders. Not just for people who are living in the east, for people living elsewhere like in the north, and they have demands coming in from everywhere else in Singapore, right? Not just in the people in the east. Because I think Tampines all along they have newer BTOs there, and newer BTOs when they MOP, they will definitely have people want to upgrade. And then for people when they want to upgrade, they will usually look at the newer developments. So by then, if they really want a mixed day, they will have Pinery and Park Town. But of course, not forgetting the newer EC as well, like Ternate, Rivelle, and also the upcoming one, Rivelle Residences EC. If you look at another two development, North Park Residences, which TOP in 2019, North Park Residences is in Yishun. If you can see that they are, when they TOP, the owner also make about 300 to 400,000 kind of profit, also very decent. And Centuries, this is at Jurong West, they TOP in 2009. If you can see that, the owners also make very decent profit. 320 to is about 300 plus. So what I'm trying to say is that, when you want to buy a mixed development, it is actually okay. But of course, something to bear in mind is that, the competitor around you. So for Centuries and North Park, the surrounding competitor, they don't really have much competitor. So this is something that we need to bear in mind, that we are seeing that, for development, like for example, Woodleigh Residence, North Park, Centuries, all these where they don't have a lot of options around them, and also along the line, they tend to do very well and gain very good profit in just 3 years by the time when they TOP. Okay, but for developments like for example Sengkang Grand, where they have options around and also along the MRT line, they still make profit, just that for very big profit, you maybe need to hold longer. If you were to ask me for my opinion on Pinery, whether by TOP, whether will they make very decent profit, I would say that they do have competition around, okay, like Rivelle, like Ternate, and all that. So it is actually important to understand deeper on the unit type that you are facing, whether the floor plan can hold up against the EC or not. Okay, so which later we will be taking a look at the 3-bedder and 4-bedder, whether the best layout in Pinery can hold up against Rivelle best layout. Okay, so the next thing we are going to go into the layout analysis. So the first thing first, we'll be looking at the 2-bedder, 2-bed 2-bath, and 2+ study. So for Pinery, they are 2-bed 2-bath, 624 square feet. Something that I haven't mentioned is that for Pinery is actually under the new harmonization, so the AC latch is not included into the total space lah. So if you see that it's a very typical 2-bedder layout in many developments, it's a dumbbell layout. So when you come in from the main door, you have an open concept kitchen, then left and right you have your master bedroom, you have your common bedroom, 2-bed 2-bath, very standard B1. Okay, compared to their B2 layout, their B2 layout is 635 square feet. You come in from the main door, you also have a open concept, but it's slightly tucked in. Okay, so it's a tuck-in kitchen, and then the layout is a bit long. So if you were to ask me, between the B1 and B2 layout, I would say that, it depends on which one you like lah. But later on, I will actually tell you what is the preferred layout that I like. And also the 2-bed 2-bath. So for the 2-bed 2-bath, they have 3 types of layout. Okay, and for the B3 667 square feet, 667 square feet, you can see that it's more of a traditional layout compared to a dumbbell. You also have an open concept kitchen. Then this is the walkway to your common bedroom and to your master bedroom. Okay, so something to know is that, for all the 2-bed 2-bath, the bathroom don't have a window one. And also the 2+ study, they only have one type of layout, which is B4. 700 square feet. They have a very nice tuck-in kitchen, which is very, very nice, which you can actually enclose it. And it's a dumbbell layout also, where the study is here. So if you really want, this part, if you really want, you can actually shift the door to here. You can actually make this your master. Then here, you can actually put a walk-in wardrobe if you really want, if you don't really need a study. Then where are they located? So for the 2-bed 2-bath, you can actually see that a lot are in pool view, very nice, and they also have some that is outside view. For the 635 square feet, this is a bit special. I think they are the only one that have the morning sun and west sun facing. okay, which is stack 20 and stack 29. Then for the 2 plus study, you have pool view also. You have about 3 stacks that is facing the opposite HDB block. So what is my preferred type of layout? My preferred type, I would say that it will be a 2 bed 2 bath B1 624 square feet. Why is it so? Because I feel that for a 2 bed 2 bath, in terms of the difference in size 624, 635 and 667, the difference lies in the living room. And all the bathroom don't have a window. So based on what I feel is that really I would say that the future buyers will likely be buyers who are buying for own stay, because you are still in the Tampines area, so you still have a lot of upgraders, you still have a lot of people who want to live there. And also you have some investors also. So in terms of quantum wise, I would say that if it's me, I will still choose the smallest which is 624 square feet, because 624 square feet still can serve the needs. So this is my most preferred layout, 624 square feet. So I have given some of the rating for your easy understanding is that for usable efficiency, I feel that for dumbbell layout is usually the most efficient. For the lighting and ventilation efficiency is 2 star, why short of 1 star? Because the bathroom don't have window and it's very common that I see in a lot of development, especially for 2-bedder bathroom, they don't have a window anymore. Right, for the resale appeal, I would say a 2.5 star. So this is my most preferred choice for a 2 bed 2 bath layout. Next, I will go to a 3-bedder compact. So for a 3-bedder compact, they have 3 types of different layouts. Smaller starting from 807 square feet. So what is a 3-bedder compact? 3-bedder compact meaning you don't have a yard. You don't have a utility room, you don't have a storeroom, but you do have 3 proper bedrooms. So 807 square feet, you come in from the main door. You have a nice enclosed kitchen here. Then it's a dumbbell layout. You have bedroom 3 on one side, and then you have the other 2 bedroom on the other side. And one thing to take note is that for 807 square feet, their 2 bathroom don't have window as well. The next type of layout, 861 square feet. 861 square feet is more of a traditional layout already. So you have your living dining here, and you walk in, you have a very nice enclosed kitchen with a window, and also the 2 bathroom, you also have a window. So I would say that for a 3-bedroom compact, for this layout, I would say that it is actually very nice. That the developer is actually building, is actually giving the 2 bathroom that have a window. The last type is C3, 872 square feet. You come in, you have a bit of longer foyer, and also the layout is very similar to C2, 861 square feet. So if I put 2 floor plans side by side, you can see what's the difference already. The additional 11 square feet goes to where? You still have the enclosed kitchen, you still have a very nice 2 bathroom that comes with a window. So the additional 11 square feet goes to the foyer. Whether or not you need it, I would say that it really depends. And in terms of where are they located, the 3-bedroom compact 807 square feet, you only have pool view. The 861 square feet, where the 2 bathroom with a window, is also pool view. Actually, they are all internal facing. And also the 872 square feet, the one with the slightly longer foyer, you only have 2 stacks, pool view and external facing. So if you ask me what is my preferred choice of unit, I would say it's a 861 square feet 3-bedder compact, because I feel that having a bit of longer foyer is a bit waste of space. So I feel that you don't really need to pay extra. But of course, it really depends on the actual day, what is the balloting number and all that. So if you would ask me the usable efficiency, I'll give it a 3 star, not bad. Lighting and ventilation efficiency is a 3 star. Resale appeal, I will give it a 3 star as well. Because I think that for a 3-bedroom compact 861 square feet, developer give a very good layout. So the next one we are going to look at, Pinery versus Rivelle, right? So for Rivelle, their 3-bedroom premium is 883 square feet. This is one of their best layout. So if you look at Pinery and Rivelle, for Rivelle, the difference is that, when it comes in, you can immediately notice that these two, the sizes are the same, but the dining and living in Rivelle is a lot smaller. So which means that when you walk into a Rivelle unit compared to a Pinery unit, you will find that actually Pinery Residences 861 square feet, you can feel that actually the living space in the living room is a lot more comfortable compared to Rivelle. But there's also one plus side about Rivelle is that, they also have an enclosed kitchen, and they have a yard and a household shelter, which is not bad. And also there are 2 bathrooms have a window also. So if you were to ask me 883, I would say the Rivelle developer actually give a very good layout also, where for 883 square feet, they are able to squeeze in a yard and a household shelter, which Pinery Residences don't have. But in return, they give you a bigger living space. So whether or not household shelter and yard is important to some of the buyers, I think it really depends on you. Because if let's say you don't have a household shelter, what I'm seeing is that a lot of buyers today, they actually build storage around the whole house. So I feel that for Rivelle, one thing to take note is that they still have MOP period to fulfill. The earliest they will hit the resale market is 8 to 9 years later, compared to Pinery is 4 years later. So if let's say today, if today you are getting a Pinery Residences, a 3-bedroom compact 861 square feet, the timing to exit, I feel that if you feel that Rivelle, the layout is slightly have an edge over Pinery, then you may want to exit before Rivelle actually hits the resale market. But if you were to ask me, I would say that Rivelle layout is really not bad for this case. The next one, we will move to 3-bedroom premium and 3 plus study. For their 3-bedroom premium is 990 square feet. So if you come into from the main door, you have an enclosed kitchen also, and then you have a household shelter. and then you have a WC. The living dining is a portrait mode, so it's quite normal. You have a traditional layout to the bedroom 3, bedroom 2, and master bedroom. And the 2 bathroom also have a window. Compared to another type of layout, it's 1012 square feet. 1012 square feet, if I were to put 2 floor plans side by side, so 2 floor plans side by side, if you see the difference, the layout is almost identical, except that the extra space goes to the foyer. Another type of layout is 1023 square feet, also very similar. They also give a storeroom. The extra space also goes to the foyer. You have a longer foyer lah. And also for the 1055, they have a 3+ study layout. C7. It's a very nice layout, honestly. The layout is very similar to the 3-bedroom premium, except that the study is actually located next to your master bedroom. So you can actually see that the developer, they put a dotted line here, which means that, if you want to use it as a study, you just got to build a wall and put a door here, right? Then this can be your study. But the developer is seeing that nowadays a lot of people, they don't actually use the study area as a study. They want a bigger master bedroom and they want to have a walk-in wardrobe. So that's why nowadays developer, they are giving you flexibility to construct your own wardrobe as a walk-in here. So for the 3+ study, I think that is a very nice layout, and the developer actually gives the flexibility. And I think that you have seen a few different variations of 3+ study, and to me, this 3+ study layout is considered good. Why? Because if you have seen some of the layout, the study is sandwiched between the bathroom and the master bedroom. So in this case, the study, you cannot really do much. It will just be a study. So I think in this case, Hoi Hub actually give a very good layout where they place a study in the master bedroom, so it gives you the flexibility to use it as a wardrobe, or you can use it as a study. It's up to you. So my most preferred choice would be 1023 square feet 3-bedroom premium, because I feel that the extra space is good to have a bit of foyer, because I do see some of them, they actually, they put shoe cabinet here. So I think that having a bit of foyer but not too long is not bad. And also if I look at the living space, I don't have the dimension breakdown yet, but of course when we have the dimension and all that, we can have closer look again. But I'm seeing that the living space and dining seems to be slightly bigger than the 990 one. Of course, we still need to look at the wall-to-wall distance for these two type of layout. So in terms of my usable efficiency is 3-star, lighting and ventilation is 3-star. My resale appeal will also be a 3-star as well. So the next thing we are going to look at, Pinery versus Rivelle best layout. So for Pinery, 1023 square feet versus Rivelle 926 square feet for their 3+ study. What I'm seeing is that, I think one thing very obvious is that for Rivelle, when you walk into the living room, immediately you feel that the living space is much smaller compared to Pinery. Pinery, immediately you walk in, you can feel that it's a lot more comfortable already. That one is the main USP for Pinery, right? And also for Rivelle 3+ study, they have a storeroom, which Pinery also have, and also the kitchen. If you walk into Rivelle kitchen, you can immediately notice that the kitchen is smaller compared to Pinery, where you have an L-shaped kitchen. So in this case, it is important, right? Because a lot of buyers actually place a lot of emphasis on the living space and kitchen. So in this case, Pinery actually have a better advantage for their kitchen and living room. For their 3-bedroom, I feel that it's almost the same size, and the 2-bathroom, they also have the same size as well. And the good thing is that for Rivelle, they have a study. And just now, if you remember that I said that there are some studies sandwiched between the bathroom and the master bedroom. This is the example. So in this case, this study, you cannot really do anything much. You can actually do a built-in wardrobe if you really want, but you got to shift the door to this side. You got to move the door to this side. So if you will ask me, the main difference between Rivelle 926 square feet and Pinery is very obvious. It goes to the living space and kitchen. So I think for buyers out there, if let's say you are buying a 3-bedroom premium 1023 square feet, I think next time when Rivelle, when they TOP, they won't be too much of a competitor if let's say you are holding on to a 1023 square feet. So the next thing we are going to look at 4-bedroom without study. So 4-bedroom without study, they only have one type of layout. So this is the main door, you come in, you have the same thing, the L-shaped kitchen, and they have WC. And one thing that is very nice is that they are giving you this utility room. And this utility room, it can be very versatile, meaning to say that if let's say if you want to use it as a helper room, the wall can be this way. If you want to use it as a study, you may want to seal up this door, open up a door here. Then this utility can be your study. Or you can even use up as a storeroom. Or if you want to have a bigger dining space, what you can do is you can break this wall, your dining table you can put like that. Then you will notice that your dining table will be very big. Then the rest of the bedroom 3, bedroom 2, master bedroom and bedroom 4 is quite standard in size. Honestly, I feel that this type of layout is a very good type of layout. And one very small detail is that you will notice that along the walkway, when you walk to your bedroom, they have a window here, which means that your walkway, even in daytime, it will be bright. And Because you will notice that a lot of development, as you walk along the walkway to your bedroom, this is usually a wall one. It's not a window. So which is something that is very special, is that in the future, if you are selling this type of layout, a lot of resale buyers, they will find that, hey, actually your walkway seems a lot brighter. Then for this type of layout, 4-bedder without study versus Rivelle 1044 square feet 4 plus study, personally, I feel that the noticeable difference is in the living space again. So for Rivelle, you can actually see that as you walk in, they don't really have a foyer. Their dining and living is actually here, but compared to Pinery, what I'm seeing is that the dining might be bigger. We have a lot more space. And also the kitchen, they have a yard here, which Pinery, this part can be a yard lah, if you really want. And they have a storeroom. So the good thing about this type of layout is they have a utility room which can be very flexible, which Rivelle do not have. And the Rivelle layout is actually not bad. They have a bedroom 3, bedroom 2, master bedroom, bedroom 4, and the rest are all the same, except one winning point from Pinery Residence is the walkway. They actually have a window. So in the future, when buyers go and view Rivelle 4 plus study 1044 versus Pinery, they will feel, hey, actually Pinery, the space is a lot bigger and the walkway is brighter also. So there is some small winning USP that Pinery will have over Rivelle. The next thing is 4 plus study. So for 4 plus study, for Pinery, they have 4 types of different layout. There are smaller, is 1195 square feet. If I were to compare with another type of 1227 D3 type, you can actually see that it's basically quite similar. This is the main door. You have an enclosed kitchen, which you have a WC, and you have a household shelter for D3. But D2, the developer is actually giving you a flexible utility room, where D3 is a storeroom. So this is the main difference. When you go to the dining, living, study, is all the same. And the study, the developer is actually giving you a space here for your study. So if let's say you are not going to use it as a study, you can actually put your dining here. What you can do is you can put your dining here, and your living dining become a landscape layout. So it'll be very big. Then they have bedroom 3, bedroom 2, master bedroom, so all the same. And the 2 bathroom, they also have a window. So mostly the same. So for this 2 of layout, where are they located? D2 is located 1 external facing and 1 pool view. Stack 8 and stack 3. And for D3 is 1 external, stack 12 and stack 21. Pool view facing. The other 2 type of layout is a 4 plus study 1238. So you have slightly larger layout already. 1238 square feet. I think this type of 4 plus study for 1238 square feet is huge. Considered big in the market already. So the difference actually goes to the foyer. So you have a larger foyer. Okay, this is the main thing that I see. Of course, I don't have a dimension. Right, I don't know whether the living space is it bigger compared to other type of layout, but something that to take note is that the developer is actually giving you a storeroom also, compared to D2 layout where the developer is giving you a utility room. And the developer is also giving another type of layout, is the 4-bedroom Lux plus study. As the name implies, it means that there are 4-bedroom plus study is very huge. It's 1389 square feet. 1389 square feet compared to D4, the main difference is really, okay, when you come in, you have a bit of foyer here and you have a dry kitchen. The rest of the things should be the same. Okay, you have a household shelter, you have a WC, and the living space, I feel the wall to wall might be longer than D4, and the dining as well. Okay, of course, we still have to look at the exact dimension, but from what I see, the 4-bedroom luxury plus study is really big. Okay, and also something that is different is that for 4-bedroom plus study, for D5, you have a junior master room where the rest of the 4 plus study they do not have. So this is actually a plus point, and also the master bedroom, they have a walk-in wardrobe as well. So I will say that this 4 plus study luxury D5 1389 square feet is really quite rare in the market. This kind of size, because nowadays we are seeing that for this type of size, usually is can be a 5-bedder already, 5-bedder compact. So my preferred choice of unit will be the 4 plus study D2 layout 1195 square feet. Why? Because I feel that the flexi room have a lot of uses for it. It can be a storeroom, it can be a study, it can be a mid room, it can also be opened up to have a bigger dining space. So this is my most preferred unit. So for Pinery versus Rivelle, best layout 4 plus study 1195 square feet versus Rivelle 1184 square feet. As you can see, the size is very, very close. But one thing that is really different is that when you walk into the main door, for Rivelle, they also have a landscape living dining, which is very nice. For Pinery, if you don't use this study, you can actually put your dining area here. For Rivelle, they have a dry kitchen, which for Pinery, they do not have unless you take the 4-bedroom luxury plus study. And they have a storeroom where Pinery give you a utility room, and they have a yard as well. So the rest is mostly the same. Bedroom 2, bedroom 3, master bedroom, bedroom 4. Based on my personal opinion is that I feel that the Rivelle 4 plus study layout is really not bad, but for Pinery, I feel that for the future buyers, if they look at Rivelle and they look at Pinery, most buyers will feel that these 2 units will give them very similar feeling. So if let's say today you are considering a 4 plus study, if you really want to buy a layout that really stand out compared to Rivelle, you may want to consider a 4-bedroom luxury plus study. Okay, but bearing in mind that 4-bedroom luxury plus study, the price point might be very close to a 5-bedder. So the last one, we will be going to a 5-bedroom. So 5-bedroom E1 type of layout, 1475 square feet. When you come in from the main door, I would say that the wet kitchen is pretty big. The wet kitchen, and then you have a dry kitchen, then the living dining. The wall to wall should be quite long. Then you have bedroom 5, bedroom 4, bedroom 3, master bedroom with a walk-in wardrobe. So the layout is quite similar to a 4-bedroom luxury plus study, and they have one junior master. So in terms of the where is it located, there's only one stack, which is stack 2 facing the pool. So for the 5-bedroom layout, how does it compare to Rivelle, the 5-bedroom 1378 square feet? What I'm seeing is that most of the elements that Rivelle have, Pinery will have. So when you come in for the main door, but they have a dry kitchen, which Rivelle also have. And something what I'm seeing here is that the Pinery 5-bedroom kitchen it seems bigger compared to Rivelle, the 5-bedroom kitchen. So which means that in the future, for a lot of buyers, when they walk in, they will immediately notice the very big difference for the 5-bedder in Pinery. And then they have a storeroom, which Rivelle also have. The one thing that is different is that for Rivelle, their living and dining is a landscape model. For Pinery, is a portrait. This is not a very major differences. Then for the bedroom 4, bedroom 3, bedroom 2, master bedroom, they also have it. So you can see that these two layouts are quite similar in a sense. And they have a walk-in wardrobe for Pinery also have. And for the junior master, they also place in the same location. You can see that for Rivelle, the 5-bedroom and Pinery 5-bedroom, they have very similar elements. So this is what I'm seeing. That's all for my video for Pinery. So if you would like to connect with me, if you have any question, just feel free to scan the QR code, and then I will hear from you soon. Okay, bye bye.